Let's begin with the frightful and gradually 10th place, space junk. It turns out that there are other things besides our planet that we treat like enormous garbage cans, because space is also gradually turning into a massive landfill. Over 30,000 of the millions of man-made debris fragments in Earth's orbit are larger than 10 centimeters, or about 4 inches in length. Now, the fact that there is an increasing amount of trash is what makes this so frightening. However, you shouldn't be too concerned about this because I'm sure you'll get around to cleaning it later, which typically doesn't push our government to take action until it gets to be a significant enough issue. You see, the increasing quantity of space debris is starting to pose a serious threat to space travel and exploration. Additionally, since 1999, NASA has had to make 32 course corrections to steer clear of satellites and space debris. You're probably assuming that you won't ever have to worry about this problem. You never leave the house, much less intend to explore the area. However, it turns out that you might just end up with the space junk. Numerous accounts exist of satellites, spacecraft, and big metal objects landing on people's homes and property. However, since most of the pieces wind up in the water and mix in with the other debris, I'm sure most of them go unnoticed. The 9th is cosmic voids. 9. Cosmic voids. We soon start learning about a variety of horrifying things when we venture outside of Earth's orbit and start to explore the cosmos. But I don't want to talk about anything before we get to those. I mean absolutely nothing. As you can see, there are enormous voids in the universe that are completely empty. Nothing. No McDonald's, no asteroids, no planets, no stars, no moons. We refer to these holes as cosmic voids. Additionally, they can occasionally have a diameter of hundreds of millions of light years. Anybody who chooses to travel across them would have to endure a protracted and isolating space voyage. Unless you were fortunate enough to be an introvert, of course, because we are totally impervious to this frailty. I understand that these big figures can be difficult to understand, so allow me to briefly illustrate how everything looks. This is an example of the Virgo supercluster, which includes the Milky Way, our home galaxy, and over 100,000 other galaxies. Let's now examine the locations here by zooming out. Their cosmic emptiness. With a width of over 330 million light years, this one is known as the Bode's vacuum and is among the biggest voids in the known universe. For comparison, the Milky Way galaxy is 100,000 light years across and contains at least 100 billion planets. The 8th number, dead galaxies 8. Dead galaxies that have ran out of cold hydrogen gas, which is required to fuel stars and form new ones, are known as dead galaxies. The first galaxies to go entirely dark and lifeless will be these dead ones, leaving behind a chilly, desolate graveyard. However, as these galaxies burn off the rest of their energy, they currently seem red. Let's go on to the scary part. The energy in every galaxy, including our own, will eventually run out. And soon, the entire universe is thought to do the same. This period is known as the Dark Era. Additionally, it is thought to be the cosmos's ultimate state, leaving behind a chilly, dark universe devoid of energy and light. 7th place. Planets. According to NASA, the Milky Way galaxy alone has at least 100 billion planets. The observable cosmos has more than 6 sextillion planets. By the way, that's 21 zeros. Since none of us could really understand that, it doesn't really matter. Instead, The idea that there are more planets in the known universe than grains of sand on Earth is used to try to visualize this. Additionally, if you have never visited the beach, learn from someone who has. This amount is still beyond our comprehension as well. Now that we have a couple of these planets in our own solar system, we don't need to search far to locate some very terrible ones. However, let's only examine the most frightening one, Jupiter. Just looking at this planet is terrifying enough, but it's a complete nightmare. Jupiter is a massive planet of gas. As you are undoubtedly already aware, that is 1,300 times bigger than Earth and is frequently hit by strong storms. Simply put, though, these are just a handful of the ways Jupiter would completely dominate your life. Exposure to radiation, air pressure that is dead, winds exceeding 400 miles per hour, dead, lightning struck, dead, you overheat, you become motionless, dead, you choose to take a breath, dead. If Jupiter isn't frightening enough, there are plenty of other terrifying planets in our galaxy, like molten glass or molten iron that rains continuously, planets completely covered by ice, planets completely covered by lava, planets completely submerged in water, planets that have no light at all, planets that have enormous hurricanes that are as big as Earth. Not at all. It's Jupiter once more. That place is terrible, as I mentioned. 6th place, aliens. Hollywood has instilled a fear of aliens in us since we were kids. That this one would make the list is therefore not surprising. Aliens were portrayed as extremely aggressive and horrifying in films such as Aliens, Signs, Predator, Cloverfield, The Thing, and of course, the greatest of all time, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And Hollywood only succeeded in creating an extraterrestrial that was amiable and relatable in terms of body type, and it was unquestionably successful. According to scientists, the discovery of extraterrestrial life is imminent. But the thing is, isn't it? Simply said, an alien or extraterrestrial being is any living thing that did not originate on Earth. Therefore, this may be as minor as bacteria. If we're lucky, though, it might be a fish or something resembling a mammal. Naturally, though, this may be something far more dreadful. And that's the reason this one is so frightening. We have no real idea what's out there. Fortunately, we are all aware now that initial impressions matter greatly. Therefore, I'm hoping that extraterrestrials will simply glance at Earth's orbit and decide against coming, because we're plainly filthy. 5 gamma-ray erupts. The 5th is gamma-ray bursts. The most potent explosions in the cosmos are gamma-ray bursts, which release more energy in a second than the sun would in 1 billion years. This can happen when a star explodes as a supernova, when 2 neutron stars combine to generate a black hole, or when a neutron star is engulfed by a black hole. These enormous energy explosions could last anywhere from 10 milliseconds to several hours and are 1 million trillion times brighter than the sun. This is the reason they are so frightening. The generated light is invisible to the unaided eye. Therefore, we wouldn't be able to predict when one of these strong gamma-ray bursts will strike Earth. And based on the proximity of the gamma-ray burst source, it will decide whether or not life on Earth continues. 6,000 light-years away. Mass extinction would result from it, because of the lethal radiation levels. However, if the gamma-ray bursts had happened farther away, they may have still struck us directly. It might still be disastrous, because it would seriously harm all of our satellites and technology, causing the Wi-Fi to stop down. Fortunately, since our sun is much too tiny to cause this kind of explosion, Earth is not in any serious risk of such an occurrence. Rather, our sun will just get so big that it gradually engulfs the whole world.
4 galaxies colliding. Galaxies colliding is number 4. There will inevitably be collisions between some of the billions of galaxies that make up the cosmos. In actuality, our galaxy will be among them. It is predicted that the Milky Way will collide with the Andromeda Galaxy, which is our neighbor. However, it will take another 4 to 5 billion years for that collision to occur. Hopefully, long after people have moved to other planets and departed Earth. Let's discuss, however, why colliding galaxies are so frightening. As the 2 galaxies start to approach each other, they will be drawn together by their gravitational attraction. Surprisingly, since galaxies are primarily empty space, planets colliding would be very uncommon. However, planets would be moved and shuffled around, causing them to be separated from their existing solar systems and forming new ones. Therefore, any planet that supports life may be forced to live with a new neighbor. These are several galaxies that are merging right now. 3. Supernovas. Supernovas are number 3. The biggest explosions that anyone have ever witnessed are supernovas. They can be seen throughout the cosmos and, for a few days or even months, outshine their entire galaxy. Supernovas can happen in a few distinct ways. The first is when a large star collapses due to a lack of nuclear fuel, resulting in a supernova. The second is when a white dwarf star collapses and explodes after gaining enough mass by stealing it from another neighboring star. However, let's discuss what makes supernovas so terrifying. A supernova is a star that is strong enough to wipe out all life on any planet within 30 to 50 light years and obliterates everything in its path. To put things in perspective, our Sun is only 4.2 light hours distant from Neptune, our outermost planet. Supernovas can easily destroy all living things in their path, making them one of the most devastating catastrophes in the known cosmos. They are at least excellent screensavers. Second place. Black holes. 2. Holes in black. Among the most dreadful objects in the known cosmos are undoubtedly black holes. The main reason for this is that we don't fully comprehend how they operate. Here's what we do know, though. There are 2 varieties. The first one, known as a stellar mass black hole, has a mass that is between 3 and 1,000 times that of the Sun. A black hole is formed when a massive star explodes as a supernova and collapses in on itself. A supermassive black hole, which is the second kind, has a mass that is millions to billions of times that of the Sun. Furthermore, we don't know how these black holes form. And by we, I mean that I was unable to locate a solution on Google, became irate, and finally decided that there isn't one. However, the most widely held belief I kept coming across was that a black hole had to have ingested another black hole, causing it to enlarge significantly. If I've learned anything while writing the script for this film, it's that astronomers and astrophysicists seldom provide a straightforward response. Therefore, it's hilarious that they turn to the well-known response, "You eat, you grow." I know from personal experience that's not always the case. Now that we've cleared things up, let's discuss what makes black holes so frightful. To begin with, one of these supermassive black holes is located directly in the middle of our galaxy. As we speak, it is consuming fragments of the Milky Way. The fact that they are totally invisible is another factor contributing to their eerie appearance. This is due to the fact that black holes have such a powerful gravitational pull that nothing can escape them, as you are already aware. Not even light. So the only way we can see where they are in the cosmos is by examining how they interact with their environment. However, the main reason black holes rank so highly on the list is that we have no idea what would happen if someone were to enter one. Are they wormholes only? Would you simply get stretched instead? Like an enormous piece of spaghetti? I'm serious. The most widely accepted theory is that one. It's referred to as spaghettification. Or can it be an entrance to a different dimension? We're not entirely sure. In any case, these are all utterly horrifying. 1. The universe's dimensions. First place, the universe's size. Definitely, the universe's immensity is its most terrifying feature. Let me make my argument, please. Is this picture frightening to you? How about right now? That's right. Before I rest my case, let me offer you a couple more examples. To keep things simple, let's begin at the very beginning. You are this. Most likely, you're in your room. You live in your house. This planet is your home, the planet Earth. Like the 8 planets of our solar system, the Milky Way galaxy, which contains at least 100 billion additional planets, includes the solar interstellar neighborhood, which includes our solar system. 3 additional galaxies reside in the local galactic group, which includes the Milky Way galaxy. The Virgo supercluster, which contains hundreds of galaxies and galaxy clusters, includes all 3 galaxies. The local superclusters include the Virgo supercluster. The entire observable cosmos is centered on the local superclusters, which has a width of 93 billion light-years. However, it doesn't stop there. This is simply what our current technology allows us to observe. We don't even know whether the cosmos has an end or how much bigger it is. Naturally, though, this doesn't stop us from making assumptions about its size and possible contents. Are there other universes with limitless possibilities or alien civilizations that are considerably more developed than our own? Or perhaps we are all simply connected to a computer, a simulation. Wouldn't this be the ideal moment to simulate in our history? Or perhaps the Earth is flat, and space isn't real like birds. Therefore, none of this is very important. Ultimately, it seems that the most terrifying aspect of the cosmos isn't actually space,